who French Montana
fucking
is.
hell.
It's that nigga that did
The guy that just gets carried in every song that he makes. Every song. This guy gets carried, man. How did he even get famous? What actually blew him up? I'm trying to deal that because this guy is he's dead. He had the craziest, he hasn't carried one person in the feature. The feature's always carried him. Example, Swale. That is the biggest carry. I would end my career after that carry. Get me? Bro, that Swale. Oh my god, that Swale carry was insane, man. That chorus. That's the only thing I know from that song is that chorus, man.
longevity, a long duration of individual life. Some are long lived, while others are cut short. Not only can this be applied to living, but also in all art and entertainment. Like, will this piece of work stand the test of time to be remembered as great, or will it be put in a modern art museum? Only time can tell. And many music artists throughout all the years had faded away alongside time. It's crazy to think about, because some of these artists, or at least their songs, were all over the radio and playlists and constantly being replayed. But by next year, nobody's even having a thought about their music, let alone the artist. Their relevance was like receiving a happy ending from a ladyboy in Thailand. It lasts a good minute, but it finishes pretty quick. Don't judge my hobbies. Some get the stinky end of this deal by having short bursts of fame, then run straight into irrelevance for the rest of their
chat to me. Who are we talking about?
Lives. And the rest are lucky enough to be one-hit wonders, with their hits being so timeless that we never forget them. Like, who can forget 1,000 Miles by what's her name? I swear, every time that song comes on in a crowded place, every bad thing that's going on in the world at that moment comes.
I think it was the first ever one that I watched was the law one. Like the craziest laws in the USA or some shit. No, sorry, just the craziest laws in general.
To a halt, and all of us sing along in perfect sync. This song legit brings word peace. She doesn't need another hit. And Silent Hill with Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nene. I mean, none of us are playing that song nowadays, but
oh no, don't talk about the guy that done hit the corn. Oh no, don't even talk that.
When it was out, it was big. Like, all the kids were dancing that song, playing it everywhere. You couldn't escape it. And to show how much of a phenomenon this song was, it was played at the biggest award show in the world, the Kids' Choice Award. You can't get bigger than that. That's a career peak for anybody. The impact of that song was insane. So you know the fall gotta be equal to that. Cause after the song wasn't hot no more, the man fell off so hard, he murdered his cousin. That's tough. Young Ma with
what? That happened?
Fell off so hard, he murdered his cousin.
Nah. That nigga hit the bottom of the barrel. Bro, that took a crazy switch. Nah, he was the guy when he released that shit. He was the guy. He had everyone doing that shit. And bro just blummed up his fucking cousin.
That's tough. There was Young Ma with Ooh. This song will forever.
I wouldn't say Young Ma fell off.
Be a club hit. Shame she didn't have another. But at least some party or club somewhere will always be playing it. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed in clubs. So. Estelle's American Boy, it hurts saying she's a one-hit wonder, but the song is amazing. Also with a goated verse from the song is genuinely perfect. Well, she ain't really a one-hit wonder if you count the hits she made on Steven Universe. But forget everything I just said. When we think about the best artists to fall off, we think of the ones that had a big breakout song, an album that made people think this person will be here.
If Roddy's on it, I'm gonna be pissed.
They will become a household name, only for them to be in love and hip hop a few years later. I'm sadly talking about Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap, artist that comes from Jersey, represent, and probably the most popular rapper to come from here. I was searching New Jersey rappers, and the second result is Fatboy SSE. So we're kind of lacking. Fetty Wap in 2015 literally blew up the entire hip-hop industry with his sleeper hit at the time, Trap.
I know he got put in jail, but like when you think about it, he had like 2-3 years of fame. Yam? What do you mean his song Yam? Let me have a listen to it. Sweet Yams. Oh, you mean the Sweet Yams? Bro, he literally remixed a song on this, you know.
Sweet yams, show me the way, 'cause I got bills.
I'll be real, it's not even, it wasn't even that viral, you know. It was all over TikTok, yeah, but it didn't go viral like that. It got 15 mil. Compared to back in the day, Trap Queen got 1 bill. Deep it. 7, nah, this guy had the craziest fall off. And then I was watching a documentary on him, yeah. And it was something about he started, because he had no, like, he was losing bread and shit. He started investing into, like, gangs and shit. So they can make him bread, like, on the side.
Queen, which came out a year prior
Crazy.
before it
And then
even
people
reached the
clocked that
Billboard
he was doing
charts.
drug
And when I tell
trafficking
you
on the
everybody
side.
was singing this
And he
song,
got-
it was playing on every radio station. You couldn't escape
Baby,
it
what you
in a good
do?
way. You can't tell
I
me
wanna eat
everyone
your
and their
booty,
doctors
oh.
didn't know the opening 6 words of the refrain of the song. I'm like, hey, what's up,
What's up,
hello? And on
Is it
April
your
4th,
pretty ass
2015, the
to
song
the
went
door?
number
Yeah,
1
I
on the
was at a
Billboard,
chill,
beating
trying to
Pitbull's
do a
song.
two-roll. Yeah,
Now, when you
running
beat
to the
Mr.
money,
Worldwide in the
to
charts,
my
you're
soul.
destined for
So
greatness.
then,
And
women
number
that
1
she
on
be
Billboard
receiving-
is a
Yo,
crazy feat,
that
don't get
tune.
me wrong. But this dude still
I
could have
love
been
that
a
tune,
one-hit
man. That was
wonder.
mad.
Come on,
Boy,
how many other
he was the
people went
first guy that
number
I
1
really
only
listened
to
to
be
when
never
I
heard of
first started.
again? Like, who the hell is the baby?
Listen to rap.
Who? But bro proved everyone wrong, because 1 month after Trap Queen went number 1, he released 679
Yeah.
Drake edition. Now, I have my qualms with Drake, but I like the song. Proving he ain't no one-hit wonder, but at least 2. But soon after that, he released his self-titled studio album. Bro
Yeah,
did not
album
waste
was-
time. He saw the spotlight
that shit
was on
was
him,
fucking-
and he took his opportunity in the best way possible. Again, My Way, RGF Island. This album was filled with hit songs, or at least songs that would be played all over social media.
You better
Like
not
Fetty
be,
Wap
man.
was basically
That's
the
a fucking
go-to
goat right there,
artist to use in your Vine back then. And this dude's music was being played all the time on repeat. He was also making the songs he was featured in hit. Like, nobody listened to Save That Money for Little Dicky, let's be honest. We're all listening for that hook. It seemed like
He
this guy
slapped
was
in that.
unstoppable. And you could tell he felt that way too. Cause 1 month after he released his studio album,
that was
he released
2015.
another album.
That was-
The consistency is crazy. And to top it all off, it was a collab album with none other than
Who?
French Montana. If you don't know who French Montana
fucking
is,
hell.
it's that nigga that did
The guy that just gets carried in every song that he makes. Every song. This guy gets carried, man.
he crapped out in that one photo, and for good reason. This man is not a good rapper. Never in your life
I don't know
have you
how
been
he
in a
got-
car or
How did he even get famous? Like, how did, like, what actually blew him up? I'm trying to deep that, because this guy is like, he's dead. He had the craziest, like, he hasn't carried one person in the feature. The feature's always carried him. Example, Swale. That is the biggest carry. Like, I would end my career after that carry. Get me? Bro, that Swale. Oh my god, that Swale carry was insane, man. That chorus. That's the only thing I know from that song is that chorus, man.
a function, and someone says, hey, put on that new French Montana. You never heard that. And if you have, you need to find new friends. These are the people that are bad influences that
No
your
one
mom
cares
and
about
dad
this
were
guy.
talking about. Go hang out with murderers and drug dealers
That's
instead.
it. It goes like, enough since I've been with you. Ooh. I didn't know how it tastes. Oh, I can't tell nobody. No, tell nobody. That tune. Whoa. What? And then French Montana comes on and you're like, bro, turn this, skip this part, bro. Like,
At least those guys will have a more positive impact on you than a nigga that willingly listens to French Montana. You have free will in this beautiful life you have,
he's
and
not
you
him.
spend it
He's
on
not
that,
him, man. He's
you
not
can't
him.
trust him. Anyways, their album was called Coke Zoo, and it's
yeah.
13 songs, and
fuck
it's
him,
a
man.
toucan of ass. Now, Fetty did have a better performance than French on here,
toucan of
obviously,
ass.
but French had way more songs and verses than him, and overall, the album is just very bland. No song sticks, or stands out. It's just
Exactly,
a nothing burger,
exactly.
bro. It has no replay value whatsoever.
Dead.
And after this project, his music slowed down on coming out, which is fine. He don't have to be like YoungBoy releasing an album every 3 days. In 2016, the next year, he had a good few charting songs he was featured in, and also his own single, Wake Up, peaking at 50 in the Billboard Hot 100. And during this period of time, it felt like the calm before the storm. Freddie was still in people's mouths. He was still performing sold-out shows and still charting. He was still very much popular. But after 2016, he kind of faded away out of the public eye more and more. He has released projects since then, but none of them created any buzz because overall, all of them were very much a hit rapper. Which is not a bad thing. It's just a bad thing when you want a fan base that would actually stay. And since he wasn't making any more hits, more people stopped talking about him. Plus, his new music sounds identical to the rest of his other music. I mean, you can say the same thing for other artists too, but Freddie's music also sounds dated. Like he was a product of his time and didn't try any new sounds or styles with his music to catch up to his own contemporaries. Other than that 2018 6ix9ine song Kiki, he has kind of disappeared from the popular space of music. And since then, in late 2022, he's pleaded guilty in drug charges and he's looking at 5 to 40 years in prison.
That's good though. Yo, what? Alright, man. I appreciate you being here, man. What the yo? That's good though. 6 years for drug trafficking.
He's pleaded guilty in drug charges, and he's looking at 5 to 40 years in prison.
Oh, 5.
That's tough. But also during his fall off, Trap Queen is Diamond. 10 million units sold. So at least he will also have a legacy to look back on in hip-hop history. Fetty Wap may have been a victim of falling down the stairs with a mediocre at best discography to look back on. There's another artist that I believe fell off, but on top. Goat-Ye. Goat-Ye was a solo artist from Australia who started his pro music career in 2001 when he released his self-titled EP. And during these years, he sent his EPs to radio stations, building a name for himself up to the release of his debut album, Like Drawing Blood, in 2006. And this album is actually pretty good. The songs have a unique flow and groove to them, and I'm terrible at describing music I like. The music sounds good to my ears. And apparently others thought the same because this album was pretty successful in the indie space. It was critically acclaimed. It was voted best album of 2006 in a listener poll by Triple J, a popular Australian radio station. The track Heart's a Mess was ranked number 8 on the station's Hot 100 of 2006. It also went platinum in Australia. Like, bro wasn't a nobody before his real big hit happened. Or at least not a nobody in Aussie land. It even won iTunes Album of the Year in the UK in 2008.
Really?
Bro was kind of a big deal, and he would become an even bigger one once he released his second solo album in 2011, Making Mirrors, where one of his lead singles, Somebody That I Used to Know, well,
she did it
blew the fuck up. I love this song so much. Now, I wish I could pick a different song as my favorite, since I've listened to all of his solo music and also to seem more cultured, I guess. But this is my favorite song from him. No matter how many times I listen to it, even after 10 years later, it doesn't get old. And the whole sound of the song is unique too. Early 2010s pop radio songs were sounding more like electronic EDM dance music, sounding like a YouTube gaming channel intro. You know, a lot of them sound dated too, but not this song. Never this song. And the song did get his flowers. A lot of them too. And after his world tour, all eyes are still on him, especially since he just won the Record of the Year at the Grammy Awards. The people were waiting for more music from him.
He never dropped it.
Except that ain't happened. Bro went radio silent, and not in a people weren't interested in him no more kind of way. No, bro disappeared from everywhere. Social media even started rumors saying he was dead, where he went out of hibernation just to tweet, "Nah, I'm alive." Then not long after the tweet, he posted "Nah, I'm alive." Then not long after the tweet, he posted a blog post saying he no longer will be releasing solo music and Goat-Ye will be no more. Huh? This dude just released one of the biggest songs of the decade and now he's quitting? Why? That's like shooting yourself in the foot. What the heck? Well, one, in the post, he said he wanted to only focus working on music with his band, The Basics. By the way, he's in a band. I didn't mention that. And in interviews, he talks as if he doesn't really want the insane fame in the first place, which is fine, I guess, if that's what he wanted. Plus, I bet he can have a steady living for the rest of his life on that one song alone. It's just missed potential. Because Goat-Ye was genuinely a great artist who could have stayed for the long run, instead of that one song being mostly his remembered legacy. Like Bronte Beat is a great song and has a greater music video. More people should see this. He still releases music with his band The Basics, but I haven't listened to them yet. Plus, I've heard he's mainly the drummer. But Goatye is a great
he doesn't even sing
musician,
in
so
it.
I
That's
wouldn't be
great.
surprised if I do like his band too. And maybe, hopefully, he could release more solo music in the future. Alright, I'm gonna stop glazing this dude and move on to the next
he's not
man.
gonna do it. You know he's
or
not gonna
baby.
do it.
Da Baby. Rapper, meme,
Nah.
car. He's mad popular. Also, some of y'all might be thinking, I
Let's
thought this was the
go.
best artist to fall off.
Let's
Why
go.
he here?
It's 'cause
And
he's
yeah, he
hella
might not
repetitive.
be nowhere near the best in anything,
Hella
but
repetitive.
I like Kirk and Baby on Baby. You know, I think he has a better
Baby on
discography
Baby
than
is
Fetty
cold.
Wap. So now, although
That's
this
cap,
guy's
that's
fall
cap.
from grace
Shut
is
up, man.
kind of
That's so
recent,
cap.
it's very evident that this man is 100% not the big star he used to be. Bro in 2019 and 2020 was on top. He released 3
agree.
albums that made it to the top of the charts. Had hit after hit. Bro's song Rockstar with Roddy Ricch was
Yeah.
number 1 for
Them
7
getting
straight
fucking
weeks. He was
rasta.
nominated for 6 Grammys,
Like that.
endorsement after endorsement, TV performance after performance.
Yo, even do you
Didn't know
remember
where-
Throat Goat? Oh, Throw Baby, I'm trying to give it to you. Yo, that's
with
a
murder
cheat,
at a
man.
Walmart,
That's a
it seemed
cheat.
like nobody could stop this dude. But then this guy decided to be in a bunch of controversies, assaulting airport kiosk workers,
Oh, that
slapping
shit.
a female fan for trying to take a picture of him, beefing with JoJo Siwa just cause she's taller than him. Bro was just constantly getting in trouble. And the final straw was that 2021
Oh, yeah, when he
Rolling
said some
Loud
crazy
set where
shit.
he just started saying the dumbest shit.
Ladies, if you like to shove bowling balls and pineapples up your pussy, put your cell phone flashlights in the air right now. And fellas, if you like sucking on balls, leave. I ain't with that gay stuff, man. Leave, man. I ain't no Frank Ocean. Leave that stuff at home.
Yeah, dude said some homophobic stuff, and basically the whole industry
Like,
turned
why
on him.
though? It
He
doesn't
lost
make-
the
there's no
majority of
context
his
on the reason why he
endorsements.
done that.
Bro was pulled off of concert lineups, and overall, the public wasn't really messing with him no more. He even one time had to cancel his New Orleans show because it only sold 500 tickets in a venue that's supposed to seat 14,000. If that doesn't indicate a fall off, then I don't know what does. His recent album, Baby on Baby 2, only
was so
sold
bad.
17K first week versus his 2019-2020 albums that would sell 150K, getting number 1 on the
Wow.
Billboard charts. It
That's
just
OD
seems
as
like
fuck,
bro
man.
really messed his own career
fucked
up
up.
for nothing. And some people still might say he hasn't fallen off. Look at his Spotify monthly listeners. Bro's still pulling big numbers. Okay, remove the Dua Lipa song and that cuts off at least half of these listeners off, minimum. Then remove Rockstar and that's probably minus 5 million right there.
Yeah.
Most of this dude's listeners are only listening to his hits that most of the time he's only
That's so
featured in.
true.
It ain't that hard
That's
to
so
pinpoint
true.
this info. And do I feel bad for his fall off? No! Bro did this entirely himself. Even on his new album, Baby on Baby 2, on his song Socks, he says,
Lost 20 million for keeping it real, bitch. I don't give a fuck about no money.
bro isn't even sorry. He basically said all the apologies he said in the past don't mean nothing. But who knows? Maybe he will make a comeback. He has a new song that debuted number 92 on the Billboard Hot 100. Although the Repo Reaper on TikTok is the only reason his song
Yeah.
is getting any streams. That
That's-
tells you where his career is at
Yeah,
right
okay.
now.
Repo
All right, I gotta
Reaper.
move on from this dude
When you
and
even
talk about
Repo Reaper is literally benefiting off him more than any. Like he's blowing up, but the baby song's just like it's just cool in there. It's cool in that 74th. He's literally carrying him. He might revive. He might be the guy to revive the baby's career.
about a person that genuinely hurts my soul that I had to say this. Chance the Rapper. Chance the
Oh,
Rapper
don't
started
even-
his
no,
career with
don't.
his
Why'd
breakout
you have to get
mixtape
on
10 Day, which
Chance?
was okay. But then the year after, Acid
was the
Rap
KB,
came out
man.
and it was
Why'd you have to get on Chance the Rapper now, man? That's this guy. He needs to be studied, man. His fall off was in like how do you fall off that? How are you that good?
amazing. In my opinion,
full
it's
of-
up there with hip hop's
Yeah,
best
yeah,
all-time
Acid Rap is-
mixtapes.
yeah,
Bro brought a
it's
unique
good, man.
sound to hip hop with the fun, bouncy, and sometimes melodic tracks here. The whole
Coloring
mixtape
Book's
brings a
amazing too. You
supreme
can't-
vibe to it that a lot of other projects don't
Coloring Book
bring.
is
Also,
beautiful,
his
man.
ad libs going every track. Breathtaking, revolutionary. Acid Rap is just a great project that introduced his talents to a much wider audience. Bro was destined to be big, especially upon the release of his album mixtape, The Coloring Book. In middle school,
Oh no, yo, I knew. Yes, Juke Jam, yeah. That's like a classic, man. That's just a classic. Everyone must know Juke Jam. With Lil Wayne, fucking just everyone was on that track. That shit was so beautiful.
I adored this album. It was constantly in my rotation. And personally, I loved it more than acid rap. I had every song on here on repeat. And my favorite song on the album would change
Angel.
like every week. My favorite is All We Got. No, it's Angels.
Angels
no, it's
is
No
so
Problems.
cold.
No, it's
With
Juke
the-
Jam.
with the-
This
with the
album
choir
is
in the
like
back.
perfect. I mean, I don't think it's top tier hip hop music or anything. But I have zero complaints about the album other than the mixing. And All Night, but I can forgive it. This album is
Yeah,
great.
I'm gonna pre-fire this. He's gonna say, yeah, ever since he met Kanye, he fell off. Because he said his dream was to meet Kanye, and when he done that, he just fell off.
Album so
Same.
much. He deserved all the praise and
Big Sean.
awards he got from it. This album was a big part of my middle school days, and Chance was definitely one of my favorite rappers. Period. During
Wait, what? You got 2 beats. Oh, sorry, I thought you were just whisper me it. Sorry, KB, whisper me it. That's how you done it last time.
that time, I was deeply anticipating more Chance music in the future. I mean, he met Kanye West. He was never going to fail, right? So
Yeah.
his next project was bound to succeed. And then
He met
it
Kanye.
happened.
Yeah,
3
he met
years
Kanye.
after the coloring book, he announced his debut album, The Big Day.
I've never listened to that.
Holy guacamole. This was a big day for me. I couldn't wait. I was ready. And on Friday morning, 12 a.m. on release, I put on my headphones.
Okay.
I could feel the sweat going down my gluteus maximus. I am so happy. Then I pressed play. And as I was listening to the music, the songs felt a little
Oh,
off.
why is he pooing?
A bit different from his previous music. It was perhaps a little more experimental. Or something. Maybe not that. Wait. Dog, what the fuck am I listening to? It was garbage. Dreadful. Gobbledygook. And not in like a French Montana Fetty Wap Coke Zoo nothing burger kind of way. Because if it was, it would actually be better. Because with a nothing burger, you just get no nutrition or enjoyment out of it. The Big Day is like receiving a lobotomy. Like, first, this album had like 8 writers and 8 producers for each song.
Yeah, yeah.
2, the lyrics are just look at this. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Peanut butter jelly with a peanut butter jelly. It'll break your back.
Nah,
By the
that's
way,
what he said
almost
that.
all the lyrics on this album are this corny and this trash. And when he's not talking about peanut butter jelly or God, he's talking about loving his wife. Now, I understand you love your wife, dude. I love your wife too. But if you're not gonna talk about your love for her in any kind of interesting way or do it in any other creative way other than just say, I love her and she's beautiful, she's my queen. Bro, can you talk about something else? Can you talk about doing drugs again,
I might need to
please?
listen to that album.
Every song
So
has
I've
the
listened to,
same
like, 1 or 2
rhythm,
songs,
tone,
bitch. See
feel.
how bad
It
it
doesn't
is.
change
I wanna hear
or
that peanut
do
butter song.
anything interesting, which is even worse since this album is almost an hour and 20 minutes long.
Oh,
Honestly,
nah,
this is
5-minute
probably the
songs.
most disappointing
Aye.
album from an artist I loved I've ever listened to. Cause even with the albums I don't like from artists that I love, there's usually a good few tracks I would come back to, that I like, but not this one. Not a single one on this
And
album
you went
has
through all that
replay
heartache to listen
value.
to it.
And when I
All
say
that
these
pain,
things,
listen to
I don't
them.
mean for anybody to shit on Chance, because I still think overall he's a great artist.
No, stop
it's
lying.
just this
Stop
project
lying, man.
upsets me so much, because this
Stop
has
lying,
been
man. He
basically
fell off.
his last album
fell
for the
off.
past almost 4 years. And the album sucks. The man has released very little music since this album, outside from that Christmas mixtape he released in
Nah, and he had a
2020 with
Justin Bieber song.
Omarion or whoever. I don't care. I'm not listening to that. That's not a real project. And I feel like this dude knows the bad reception his album gets. That's why he's been wearing his #3 hat promoting Coloring Book for the past 7 years. I swear this hat is surgically attached to this man. Take that shit off already. Damn! Maybe I'm looking at Chance's last projects through rose-tinted glasses, because I listened to those albums as I was a kid. And even though The Big Day is
Yes,
a terrible
yes.
album, I am so happy for the current success of Chance in his career. I love seeing him being part of modern media despite not releasing any music in a number of years. I am so happy for him. he might have fallen off quality-wise, but I only want future uphill success for him, no matter if he releases any more music or not. And if he does release more music, hopefully this album was just a hiccup and
okay.
he starts burping again. And yeah, I feel like I've discussed enough in this video, although I
Shit was
definitely
so
could
good,
make
man.
a
I don't
part
think
2
we'll
to
ever
this.
get
There's a few
like,
others off the top of my head
back
I
to
could
back,
list,
like
like
Acid Rap
Coldplay and Maroon 5. Like,
By
how you
chance.
go from this to this? Like, seriously. Also, there's one more
Maroon
that
5
fell off
was him.
quality-wise that I can rant about for days on end.
Ew.
But that's for another day. I feel like I've said my
Don't tease
piece.
me there, boy.
And in conclusion, I kind of like Hot Shower. I'm sorry. It's kind of grown on me. I'm sorry.
You remember?